Toronto Paramedic Services is forced to reroute while transporting a child in need in order to not disturb anti-Israel protesters in downtown Toronto. Businesses in Western Canada petition the federal government to drop its green policies to avoid impending economic devastation. Canada Post bans employees from working overtime as a bargaining chip in their ongoing union negotiations. A new Speaker of the House and Minister in charge of AI and digital advancement show that the Carney government is really no different than the Trudeau government. Our goal, as always, is to bring you news, culture, and politics from a distinctly Christian, conservative, and Canadian perspective. It's June 4th. I'm Andrew DeBartolo. This is Liberty Dispatch News Brief. Inflation through the roof.
Grocery prices up 11% year over year.
Censorship of dissident voices. Freezing of bank accounts.
Justin Trudeau invoking emergency powers against the truckers. Banks can now freeze their personal accounts, the accounts of anyone linked to the Freedom Convoy.
Digital surveillance and communism spreading.
What do we want?
Basic income!
With the basic income, I felt a sense of security because I didn't have to worry about not going hungry and I didn't have to worry about being kicked out of my apartment.
The government is on the verge of bankruptcy and they're coming for your money.
Is Canada's federal debt increasing in real time, now surpassing $1.2 trillion. This debt is draining taxpayer dollars, with interest alone costing $54 billion this year.
It's time to break free and start saving in money they can't take from you. Since 2013, the folks at Bull Bitcoin have one mission: destroy central banking. Bull Bitcoin is the most trusted Bitcoin company in Canada. They empower you to buy, sell, and pay bills with Bitcoin. They are 100% non-custodial, which means that you always maintain full control over your Bitcoin, allowing you to reclaim your financial sovereignty and secure your wealth for the future. Their customer support will assist you throughout the whole process, helping you get your hands on the hardest money ever created. Escape their financial gulag, click on the link below, and start buying Bitcoin today and get a $20 bonus as a listener of Liberty Dispatch. Toronto Paramedic Services are in a bit of hot water as they, while transporting a child in an emergency, had to divert around an anti-Israel protest rather than force protesters to move. This is from the Toronto Sun. Quote, "The lack of interest over an ambulance with a child on board being rerouted so as to not disturb an anti-Israel protest is disturbing, but it sends a message. An 8-year-old's life is not as important to those who run Toronto as the often masked pro-Palestinian demonstrators. They are in charge. These are their streets, and emergency services will have to work around them should they decide to block majority intersections, something they regularly do. The Mayor, Premier, Prime Minister, and heads of emergency services all know who the boss is. It's not the people who pay the freight. It's those involved in the protests, some of whom harass and threaten Jews. It's their city. They call the shots here. Someone captured key evidence that should have had top officials saying in unison that enough is enough with protesters shutting down Toronto. The Premier's office didn't respond to questions about it. The police didn't respond to follow-ups. But the day before, a spokesperson said the ambulance did not activate its lights or sirens, a clear indication of an emergency, and officers were not advised of any urgent need to clear a path. New evidence has emerged showing that this is not true. Video showed that the ambulance's emergency lights were flashing, and one video also captures a siren doing a whoop whoop. In addition, EMS sources told The Sun that it was an emergency call that faced challenges en route to Sick Kids Hospital, and it's considered an emergency anytime a child is in an ambulance. This time the priority was the anti-Israel protest. It mattered more." Close quote. It appears that Toronto is well on its way to becoming the next Canadian caliphate, and Sharia law will be soon to follow. Unless you're a part of a protected people class in Toronto, you will be given third-class treatment. It might be time to consider moving out of Toronto. Leaders in Western Canada are calling on the federal government to abandon their communistic green policies that are damaging our economy. This is from the Globe and Mail. Quote, "The Western Business Coalition, representing more than one-third of the Canadian economy, called on federal legislators to cut taxes and regulation and to abandon the governing Liberals' proposed greenhouse gas emissions cap. Industry's consensus over priorities does not appear to be spilling over into the political realm. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and Saskatchewan's Scott Moe are focusing on new oil pipelines, and both are keeping the door open to secession referendums in their respective provinces. Ms. Smith maintains that if Alberta does not get unfettered pipeline access to BC's coast, Canada will face an unprecedented national unity crisis. Her government is trying to significantly lower the threshold to allow for citizen-initiated referendums, including whether Alberta should separate from Canada." Prabha Ramaswamy, CEO of the Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce, said Westerners are united in standing against the economic threats posed by tariff disputes with the United States and China. The Premier, she said, should be able to settle on an agenda that promotes agriculture, energy, and critical minerals. "We are in a very defining moment for us as Canadians and Canada as a country," she said. "We've seen a surge of coming together of Canadians in a way that we've never seen before. And so there's a tremendous opportunity in front of us. And that opportunity is for us to focus on strengthening our domestic economy, and the Premier should focus on economic unity." Close quote. If the federal government doesn't act wisely, they might end up losing Alberta and all of its resources and wealth. Already, a citizen-led initiative has collected enough signatures to put a vote for separation on the upcoming referendum. Being a member of our audience, you most likely do research, watch videos, and read articles that contain good and true scientific and economic facts. But these would be sources that some people in positions of power would call a fringe minority with unacceptable views. The truth is, protecting your privacy as you engage in the online world should be a high priority for you. I want to help your online security with something that is actually safe and effective, and that is private internet access, the world's most transparent VPN provider. A VPN, or virtual private network, hides your IP address and safeguards your internet connection through an encrypted tunnel. So, say you wanted to donate money to a lawful and peaceful trucker protest in Ottawa, and you didn't want the Liberal government tracking you down and freezing your bank accounts. A VPN would be your friend, just as any Canadian would. Private internet access will also never record or store user data, and their no-logs policy has been proven multiple times in court and by third-party audit. It's very easy to use. Simply open up the app, click to connect, and that's it. PIA VPN is available for all platforms: Windows, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and many more. You'll also get to protect your entire household with one subscription. Our audience has access to an amazing special offer. If you sign up with private internet access by clicking on the link below and going to piavpn.com/libertydispatch, you will grab a discount of 83%. That's just $2.03 a month, and you'll also get 4 extra months completely free. I don't know if you've seen the price of eggs recently, but $2.03 a month for online peace of mind is incredible. Signing up for private internet access is risk-free. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and 24/7 customer support is available, so don't wait any longer. Protect your personal data, get out of Big Brother's sight, go to piavpn.com/libertydispatch to get 83% off private internet access with 4 free months. Canada Post and its contract dispute are affecting Canadians, which they are fully aware of, and they use as an extortion to get their way in negotiations, like any good crime syndicate. This is from the Toronto Sun. Quote, "The Crown Corporation and its union were back at the bargaining table on Sunday as Canada Post reported that parcel shipping volumes last week were down 50% from last year and still dropping. Canada Post said it's reviewing the union's latest response in detail. After almost 2 years of negotiations, a lengthy national strike, and the release of the final report of the Industrial Inquiry Commission, it's now time for urgency, and we will respond in short order. In the meantime, a national ban on overtime continues after the Canadian Union of Postal Workers opted for the limited labor action. The union, representing about 55,000 workers, had been in a strike position starting Friday, but said it instead opted for the overtime ban to minimize disruptions to the public while keeping pressure on the corporation. The Postal Service has warned of delays in mail delivery while overtime is off the table, though it's not clear how much overtime demand there is given the drop in parcel volumes. Canada Post blamed the ongoing uncertainty for the impact on the Postal Service's business and warned that the labor disruption's impact on the Canadian economy will be greater. The union, meanwhile, says it is Canada Post's actions that have created widespread uncertainty and pushed customers to use their competitors, close quote. This is just more evidence for the privatization of almost everything that is state-funded and state-directed. The House of Commons has elected a new Speaker who promises to crack down on disruptions in Parliament, promising to restore respect and dignity to that den of wolves. This is from the National Post. Quote, Quebec Liberal MP Francis Scarpaleggia is a new Speaker of the House of Commons, promising to bring back order and respect to the House as he presides over a new minority parliament. The longtime backbench MP was elected by his peers as the 39th Speaker of the House of Commons during a jovial first sitting of the House of Commons since December. It is unclear if the joviality will last in this minority parliament, as the final months of the Justin Trudeau government were tainted by a raucous and bellicose House marked by expulsions of MPs, mostly Conservative. During his pitch to the MPs before they voted for the Speaker, Scarpaleggia said that there must be limits to the attacks by parliamentary opponents. There's nothing wrong with a clean, even board-rattling, polemical body check in the corners. I've been at the receiving end of a few. Robust debate is fundamental to a robust democracy, and a robust democracy is what makes for resilience, the longtime Liberal backbencher told MPs before his election. The problem is when sticks go high. Canadians want to see sticks on the ice, and it's the responsibility of the Speaker to make this so, he continued. I believe it possible to skillfully and convincingly dissect and refute an argument without recourse to personal incentive or intimidation. Close quote. Liberals just can't get off this elbows-up hockey thing, even though I'm sure none of them actually know how to effectively play hockey, and they certainly lack the toughness for it. Finally, a former CBC broadcaster fired by the company for being embroiled in alleged secret art deals, of which Mark Carney is allegedly said to have been involved, has been appointed by our prime globalist to be in charge of artificial intelligence and digital innovation. What could possibly go wrong with that? This is from the National Post. Quote, as part of his comparatively slim cabinet of 29, Carney appointed rookie MP Evan Solomon to the new post for all things digital and AI. The former journalist, who will also be responsible for the Regional Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, will face a range of thorny challenges. While the specific mandates for the various cabinet ministers have not yet been released, Solomon's to-do list will likely include at least 3 key items: reigniting Canada's technology sector, ushering in updated framework policies to deal with a wide range of digital issues, including finding the tricky balance between economic growth and security and privacy concerns, and improving the federal government's own efforts to make better use of digital technology. In the most recent United Nations E-Government Development Index, widely seen as the most comprehensive scoreboard of its kind, Canada fell to 47th place globally in 2024 from 3rd in 2010. Solomon, a former television program host, is also expected to be responsible for getting the Canadian government back on a stronger path in its own use of technology and innovation, or e-government as it's often called. Close quote. In summary, Mark Carney, a man who supports globalism, central bank digital currencies, digital identity, and a form of a social credit system, has appointed someone he has allegedly worked with in secret and lucrative art deals to oversee Canada's digital future and the role of the state in that future, which will be like 1984 and Minority Report. Well, there you have it, friends. You are all up to date. Go to piavpn.com/Liberty Dispatch to get 83% off of an amazing VPN to protect your privacy for only $2 a month. Make sure you head to mission.bullbitcoin.com/dispatch to take control of your finances today. And finally, head to ldcanada.substack.com to subscribe to our mailing list and support the show. Until next time, Galatians 5:1.